Hi, this is Tony Papajohn from MoneyMindWorks.com. Here's a really simple way to empower your mind for more success and more money. Tell yourself a story of your own success. Now, we all like stories. We're human beings. Ever since time immemorial, we've sat around campfires at night, we've told stories, we learned about the past from stories that the elders related to the next generation, and they passed those on. So we are storytelling and story listening creatures. It's part of our DNA. It's who we are. So why not harness that to make more money? Why not harness that to empower your mind for more success and more money? It's very easy and very natural, and you don't even need a storyteller to do it. There's that within you that just naturally gravitates to a story. And what more wonderful story is there really than the story of your own success? So I'm wondering if you can imagine the first time that you remember the spark of success within you. You can remember that, can you not? I'm not sure if you remember where you were or if it was just some kind of growing feeling that you became aware that something moved inside of you and you recognized something that said, I want a better life, and I'm going to have a better life, and I'm going to need money to do that. And somehow or another, you started on this journey. There was some call to action. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Maybe you saw something on TV. Maybe you saw an ad. Perhaps you met somebody. Perhaps you went somewhere else. Perhaps in some other fashion. You got started on your success journey. And when that happened, lo and behold, you found kindred spirits. You found perhaps a mentor, perhaps a teacher, perhaps more than one. Perhaps some names and faces come to your mind and you can hear the voice of a mentor that meant something to you. Perhaps this mentor had something to do with your business career, or perhaps this mentor had something to do with some other part of your life, and you simply used this as a foundation to do the things in life that you wanted to do. And yes, there were challenges. I'm willing to bet you can recall a time or two in which you faced a challenge. I'm willing to bet that there were many challenges. And somehow or another, well, you may have gotten detoured here and there, and you may have gotten derailed now and again, but I'm willing to bet that now and again, you just got around the obstacle, you went under it, you went through it, and somehow you turned it into a stepping stone. And you know how good it feels to turn an obstacle into a stepping stone. And I'm willing to bet that as you hear my words, that your mind can present you with all kinds of memories that perhaps you haven't thought of in some time, in which you overcame an obstacle. And the memory of it still makes you feel good about yourself, in which you learned something new about who you are. And you got in touch with the capability that perhaps you didn't know was there, but that you now can lay hold of with a firm grasp. And you went ahead further in life. And coming to this point, where perhaps we are now, or perhaps you've been in the past, where you're on the brink of a great success, on the brink of facing perhaps a huge obstacle that may be in front of you now, or that perhaps you have just passed. And the success that you want, the success you've always desired, is right within your grasp. And what a wonderful story that is. And perhaps I'm wondering if you can activate your imagination and then move further into the future so that you can imagine an empowered version of you, a successful version of you, for whom the success that you have always wanted is an already accomplished fact. And that this successful version of you looks back on you today in your here and now, as it is here and now, that you can understand and recognize the wonder of this story. Perhaps you can imagine that this future version of you looks back upon you and says, well done, well done. You had your challenges, you had to overcome some things, but you had some help and you were persistent. And now look where I am today, and well, I'm waiting for you. I'll leave the light on for you, so to speak. And that's the light of success, so that you can see things in a new light and see a bright future. And as you see a bright future, that future becomes your reality in the here and now. And that's a wonderful story, is it not? That's the story of your success. That's the story of who you are. Let your mind fill in the details as you will, but that's the main plot. And it has a happy ending because you end up at the bank with a pile of money. My name is Tony Papajohn from MoneyMindWorks.com. I invite you to take my free 9-part video series there. And my blog is YourMoneyMindWorks.com. Got good stuff there for you also. In the meantime, hey, tell yourself a story of success. And you will end up as the empowered version of you looking back and saying, boy, that was a great story. You might not get an Oscar, but you will get a pile of money.